Mekano a journey. Mudom de yem. Mudom de le yem bo yabo lesson 9. Mudom de agbo mazmadi. Please mute your mic. I don't know the person. Please mute your mic. Parents are making noise, please.
Go ahead now.
Okay, I'm going. Ùnazhí Ẹkpẹ Lì Udúodù Lí Ẹkpulùkpu as a Ekpeye administrative structure and leadership structure. Ekpeye administrative division and leadership structure. Ekpulùkpu, that's a block from the family block to the community, but from the family to the quarter in the community, because each community is divided into quarters. Abu Igbo, Ishi. There is quarters in the family. All those are Emene Igbo. We come to the general Ekpeye society. Now, Ekpeye has an organizer unity to the clan and to the general Ekpeye society. So, Agonutani Bole Obodo. I know we've introduced the word Obodo to us before during the course of these lessons. Obodo, this patrilineal family. Everyone belongs to an Obodo. L'Ekpeye, I'm L'Ekpeye Obodo Sabo. Obodo Satoma, Besato. That is 8. We have 8 families, patrilineal families that trace their lineage through the father lineage. That is the patrilineal lineage. We have like we have on the screen. We have 8 of them. We have Besato. Imagine. Imagine is the first Obodo. That is the head. I will say the first son. Imagine. Then you have other ones, not in any particular order. You have Ediwu, Akpa, Agulu, Uchi, Ishikuloko, Odogo, Uji. So you are going to say after me so that we'll not learn the pronunciation and the names of these families, Obodo. In each community, you must have at least 2. Currently, in every community, at least 2 Obodo that make up each community. So you say after me, Emaje.
Emaje.
Emaje. Okay, someone else should try.
Emaje.
Emaje. Another person. Emaje. Some other person. Emaje. Okay, then we have
Emaje.
Okay. We have the next one on the screen is Ediwu. Ediwu. Can we try that one? Ediwu.
Ediwu.
Ediwu. Ediwu. Ediwu.
Ediwu. Then we have the third one on the list. We have Akpa. Akpa. Umakpa. Akpa is the name. Can we try that? The third one.
Akpa.
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 Akpa. Umakpa. Also that they call Umakpa. It's Akpa. Akpa. And then we have Agulu. Agulu.
Agulu.
Agulu. We have Agulu. Who else is trying? Agulu.
Agolo.
Agulu. Yeah. Then the next is Uchi. Uchi.
Uchi.
Uchi. Yes. Yes.
Uchi.
Uchi. Uchi. Umuchi. Uchi. And the number 6 on the list. Ishikoloko. Ishikoloko.
Ishikoloko.
Ishikoloko.
Ishikoloko. Ishikoloko.
Ishikoloko. Ishikoloko. Then we have Odogwo. Odogwo.
Odogwo.
Odogwo. Yes.
Odogwo.
Odogwo. Then the last on the list is Uji. Umuji. Uji.
Uji.
Uji. Yes, Uji. Okay, we have Uji. Okay, those are the obodos in Ekpeye. 8 of them. And all these obodos, they stand alone. They are not under any other obodo. These 8 obodos, they stand on their own. And every Ekpeye person must belong to one of them through patrilineal lineage. You must belong to one of them. It must be either Ùnazhí or Ediwu or Ẹkpẹ or Agolo or Uchi or Ishikoloko, or you belong to Odogwo, or you belong to Uji, that is Umuji. So, and they are found in every community. Not all the obodos. At least you have two of them in every community. Then the second on our list. Remember, we are looking at administrative divisions and rulership structure. These obodos, these Odo communities, all of them, they have they all have their chief or their ruler at every particular point in time. Then the number 2 is Odo. Odo. Can we say it? Odo. Can we say it? Odo.
Odo. Odo.
Odo. Yes.
Odo.
Odo. Now, like I said before in a previous class, Odo could mean just more. It has more than one meaning. Odo is the house, the physical house. Odo is family. Odo is family. In this case, we are looking at Odo as family. It's a subfamily of the Obodo. That's why we started with Obodo. Okay, someone is asking that the person thinks Uji is message. Yes, that's just the name. That's the name, but that's the name of an Obodo. Uji, Umuji. Uji is message or errand. So, but that is the name of the Obodo. So we have an Odo as a sub of the Obodo. Now, as you have audio, let's say you have 2 Obodos that make up a community for. Then depends on the population of the Obodo in that community. Let's use, for example, Ediwu. Ediwu in my community, Obioko, we have 5 Odo of Ediwu. That is a sub-family. It is divided further. The Obodo in the community is divided further into sub-family. That is the Odo. The Odo. You can say, like, my own family is Omoko. Ude, Lady Wu, the Omoko. Omoko, Lady Wu. They usually bear the surname in one of these 8 families. You can say Omaga. Like my mother's family is Omaga of Uchi, of Ogbo. So, Odo is a sub-family. I think I said one of the countries. So, for example, okay, Umizu. You can say Umizu. You have the Omo. Omo is children. Let's say short form, but Omo or Omodo Izu or Omuizu. You can call it any of them. That is a sub-family of the Obodo. You can say Umizu, like in my community, Umizu. You have 2 of them. One of them is Ediwu. The other one is Ishikoloko. So how do we separate them? We say Umizu Ediwu, or we say Umizu Ishikoloko. The other one is Umizu Okola, Umizu Ishikoloko. So they know that the order, they know their obodo. So in my community, we have 5 Ediwu order that stand on their own, but they are all Ediwu. So when in some occasions like burials or marriage ceremonies, they can come together as Ediwu. That is Odogo Obodo. I don't know if it was covered in any of the lessons. Odogo Obodo. The whole Ediwu in Odiok, in my community, we come out. The 5 of them can come out, or 3, because three of them are very close to themselves with each other. So, okay, someone says he or she is of Ediwu. So I'm also Ediwu. My mother's family is Uchi. And the Odo, I want us to understand. So let me emphasize again. The Odo is a subfamily of the Obodo. Obodo is a true father's lineage. It's found at least 2 of them in each community in Ekpeye, at least. But then before, it used to be just some communities had just one family, like Abarikpo used to have only Uchi, but later Ediwu joined and then other families. They have at least 2 of them, and they have their own name, but bear their Obodo as their surname, just like I explained. Then they have the ruler of the order is called Ezemobodo. Please don't confuse it with Obodo. When you hear Ezemobodo in Ekpeye, any community, Ezemobodo, they are talking about the head of the order. If it is Umizu, Umodo Izu, they have their own Ezemobodo. That is the head of each of that order. It is let's say Umizu is Ediwu, Akwo is Ediwu. Umodo, I'm referring to my own community. They are all Ediwu, but they stand alone in the community. First of all, they stand alone, and they have their head. Each of the order have their head, which is Ezemobodo, which represents the family in the community. When the community they are sitting, they have a sitting with the ruler, the paramount ruler of the community. Each Ezemobodo sits also representing their own order. Then you have the Onokan Obodo. Onokan Obodo. That is the oldest person in that family, the eldest in that family. That's it. Onokan Obodo. That is the whole Ediwu in a community. The whole Imaje in the community can have Onokan Obodo. You can say Onokan Ordo. Onokan Ordo, you are referring to that particular subfamily of Obodo. That's it. Onokan Ordo. Onokan Ordo, that is our eldest man. It is usually the men, not the women. The women still have their own Onokan. They still have their own Onokan. Onokan Unyuma Ode, that is the eldest woman in our family. And they have their role. Like the Onokan Ogun or Onokan Odo is like okay, in the olden days, the Onokan is usually the head of the order before. But in these modern times, they started to have another position. So they elect the Ezemobodo. It's usually elected by the order, the subfamily. They elect their own Ezemobodo. So can we try and let's pronounce the Ezemobodo. Let's hear how let's hear how us pronounce Ezemobodo. Can someone start?
Ezemobodo.
Ezemobodo.
Eze n'obodo.
Ezekwe obodo. Ezekwe obodo. Okay, someone else, Owasa. See, you have been active. Owasa.
Eze nwobodo. Eze nwobodo.
Ezekwe obodo. Can someone else try?
Eze nwobodo.
Ezekwe obodo. Yes, that is the head of the order, which is a sub-family of the obodo. Then let's try Onukane. Onukane obodo. Or Onukane ordo. Onukane ordo. Onukane obodo. Can we do the two? Onukane obodo.
Unak n'obodo.
Onukane ordo. Try again.
Unokane
Onukane obodo.
Unokane obodo. Onakane
Yes.
Onokane odo.
Yes.
Onokane odo.
Onukane obodo. Onukane ordo. Someone else.
Onoka n'obodo.
Onukane
Onoka
obodo.
n'obodo.
Onukane ordo. Yes. Do we know the difference between the two? The Onukane obodo and the Onukane ordo. Which one is Onukane obodo? Which one is Onukane ordo?
Onoka n'obodo is like the eldest man in the Odo.
Okay, in the order, it could be TB, the Onukane in the whole obodo, in that community. Let's say in Ikikuruku, for example, in the community, they have different order, sub-families. So they can have Onukane obodo. All the Ikikuruku, they have the eldest man there on the Onukane obodo. Sometimes they don't separate obodo and order, they just mix them up. But let's know the difference. Onukane order is particularly for order. I know I wrote here Onukane obodo is the eldest man in the order. It's still not wrong. Because sometimes they also care for obodo and order, they mix them up. So now we look at the sub-family in the obodo, in the community, which is headed by Eze nwobodo. That is the head of the order, sub-family of the obodo. Onukane obodo, Onukane ordo. Then the third one on the list, let's look at Ekpeye. Ekpeye. Can we pronounce it? Ekpeye.
Ẹkpẹ.
Ekpe.
Yes. Ekpeye. We still have another. Let's still pronounce Imudo. Imudo. This one here, where my cursor is. Imudo.
Imudo.
Yes. Someone else. Imudo. Someone else. Pronounce Imudo.
N'imudo.
Imudo.
Yes.
Okay. Someone else. Imudo.
Wait, I'm coming.
Okay. Okay. Someone else. Why is preparing himself?
Imudo.
Imudo. Ekpeye. Imudo. So now, if we have obodo, we have ordo. Now, like at the beginning, I said Ekpeye is an organized society. Things are not just done like that. It is well structured. It's an organized society with good leadership and relative structure. We have the Ezeumobodo, which is the head of the law. We still have stories, just it doesn't matter that much. We still have the Ezeumobodo. For example, you can have you can elect just ceremonial head of the whole of Ekpeye, or just ceremonial, that one. Then under you have the Ekpeye, you still have subdivision order, which is Ekpeye and Imudo. Now I'm going to tell us the Ekpeye has to be. Now in some part of Ekpeye, they refer to the order Another name is still Ẹkpẹ. Ekpeye. Ekpeye in normal form. They can still say it like that. But in some other places, they refer to Ekpẹ as a sub-family. It's a division of the order. Please, let's pay attention. The division of the order. That's one meaning. I'm going to tell us one meaning there. That meaning. Ekpẹ is a sub of the order. The Ekpẹ, they are usually descendants of one man. Ekpẹ, descendant of one man. The order may not be descendant of one man. The order may be two brothers who have come together. Or let's say, during the course of migration, one person from any in a community joins another community, migrates to another community, and joins the same ADU again in that community, in his new community. So they will take oath and decide to eat it together. Then they will eat together. So they decide to come together. Now they are both ADU, but not direct. Like their relationship is far back. But in the case of Ekpẹ, it is always descendants of just one man can have a different different generation. Yeah, in Ekpẹ, that's one meaning. Ekpẹ, a division, a sub-family in the order. And they still have their eldest person. No kind of Ekpẹ. They still meet together. Like my own family, we have 3 Ekpẹ in our own order. We have 3 Ekpẹ in our own order. Those 3 Ekpẹs, they are descendants of 3 different men who have come together and become an order. They are still all of them. So we are same order but different Ekpẹ. 3 use space. Some other order, they have only 2. Then that's one meaning of Ekpẹ as a sub-division of the order. Then you have another meaning. In some parts of Ekpẹ, they say Ekpẹ is just the family. That is, Ekpẹ could be another name for order. Then they say the sub-family of the order becomes the Imudo. I hope I have not confused the class. So if they say Imudo, they're talking about sub-family of the order. But if you hear Ekpẹ, you need to ask whether they are talking about, they are referring to the Ekpẹ as a sub-family of the order or as the order itself. So let's take note of the difference in Ekpẹ and Imudo. Like in my area, in Ùnazhí, say Ekpẹ is the sub-family of the order. Some persons might still use Imudo and all that, but Ekpẹ is the sub-family of the order. Look, descendants, they are all descendants. Ekpẹ, all the members of the Ekpẹ, they are descendants of one man. But the order, not necessarily descendants of one man directly. Maybe people of the same Obodo that migrated from different places. They just come together in a community and decide to do things together and become one order, but not necessarily descendants of one direct father. Okay, I know we are going to ask questions. Number 4 there is Pola. Can we pronounce number 4 Pola?
Hola.
Pola. Yes.
Hola.
That is the community. Some other person.
Ùnazhí
Pola is the community. The Ekpẹ community is made up of different Obodos, which is done are made up of various orders as the case may be. Okay, now then the eldest family, the family that started the community, as we know, it's an Agolo. Now the Agolo, they have just one single order. They don't have two, they don't have three order in Oyo. They have just one from what I know. They have just one. So they have their own name order, but since they are just one, people just call them Agolo. Agolo. A lot of persons may not know their own name, but they know their surname, which is Agolo. So it's like that with some other families. Like also another Uchi in my community, we have just one Odo. Uchi have just one Odo. So a lot of persons may not even know their own name. They just know their surname, their Obodo as Uchi, because they have only one Odo. But where you have a lot of Odo, they really need to know their name and not like Obodo. That much. Okay, now the ruler of or the head community is Ezemula. Ezemula. Can we pronounce Ezemula?
Ezenula.
Yes, Meka. Odonye. Someone.
Ezemula.
Okay, Ezemula. Some other person. Ezemula. Who is trying again? Okay, let's move on. Ezemula. Ezemula is the head of the community. He's the chief. He's the ruler. I said the paramount is the ruler of the community. And in it is very, very for you to see any community that elects Ezemula to rule over them for the rest of his life. For the rest of his life, it is usually the community elected him to rule over them for a period of years. You can say 3 years, 2 years, 4 years, 5 years, as the case may be. The community come together. It is not there's no community on how to elect their Ezemula or how many years the Ezemula should rule over them. So they can agree 3, they can agree 4, they can agree 5, and elect. Now, every kingship in Ekpeye, every king is not by inheritance. Nobody inherits the position of Ezemula or any king after in Ekpeye. It's by election, or in some cases, as through down criteria, would be through appointment. You can appoint somebody instead of depends on what the people agree to do. So Ezemula is the head of the community. Is the head of the community, the ruler of the Ekpeye rulership structure. Ezemula, the head. Or can we pronounce Ishi?
Ishi. Igbo.
Kingship. So that is quarters. The community now is made up of different quarters. Different quarters. When I say quarters, I mean let's say we have community A, for example, people living in different areas of the community. Community don't they divide themselves and say, okay, this area, they give the area name, they give this area name, just like that. My community, I use my community as an example. You have 3 or each shift. You can call it each shift, or you call it field. That's the difference from the community. That's by settlement. Then it's the quarter. Means quarter. Means quarter. My community, you have 3. You have I'm going to call their names. You have
Are we still here? I think we lost him. Please, let's give him some time. He's going to come back shortly. We lost his connection. Please give us some time. He's going to come back shortly. Hope it has been an interesting one. Getting to know how rulers and our ages are selected, and then getting to know how administration are run in Ekpeye is a very interesting one already. Are you here now? Oh, Justice, are you here? No.
Okay, it would on my network me with my one side. So more using the phone. I'm using my phone right now. The network can't, the laptop can't connect anymore to the phone that I was using. Sorry. It would on my. So I don't know. Okay,
Please go
Omase,
ahead
can
and
you?
continue the section. You can look through your laptop for the slide. If that's okay, go ahead and continue teaching. We're going to wait
Okay.
for Omase to give us a slide, but then go ahead. We are listening. You could do a recap.
Okay. Let me use my laptop now to look at this at the notes. Okay. I was talking about Ishi and Igbo. So they are quarters in the community. Ishi is the same as Igbo. You can call it Ishi. You can call it Igbo. That is a quarter in the community. Now, why I mentioned it here in the class is because in some communities, they share the sharing of things in the community, maybe opportunities or even the Ezemula is turn by turn, each Igbo. Let's say Ugbate, for example, in Odio, for example, if the Ezemula comes from Ugbate for now, then the next one will come from Onakala, will come from the next Ishi or the next Igbo in the community. And also during wrestling, like now we are in the wrestling season in Ekpeye, Logbadibeta, Lola, Ekpeye. So when they come out, each Igbo, we come out and compete against members of the other Igbo. You can't, in your community, you can't wrestle against somebody from your quarter. I've not seen it before. I've not heard it. You wrestle against somebody from the next quarter. That is how it is done. That is how I know it in Ekpeye. During a wrestling competition. So when the community is holding a wrestling competition, it is the 3 Igbos. For the families, for the communities that have 3, some communities have 4 Igbo. So the wrestlers will be squatting, that is by their Igbo. That's 4 groups, and they'll be competing against themselves, not within the same Igbo. I don't know if you understand. Not the same Igbo. Let's say Ogbate person. Yeah, Igbo, quarter in your community is called Ogbate. You don't wrestle against Ogbate person during the wrestling. You wrestle against the next quarter. Then each quarter in the community, each Igbo, each Ishi, they have their own playground for masquerade, not for wrestling. Each community have in Ekpeye, each community have a Unameta. Unameta, that is wrestling or playground, which is for wrestling and for some other functions. But now, each Igbo in the community have their own playground, their own onama for Owu. Owu is masquerade, for masquerade display. Or the Igbo can decide to, maybe they have an occasion also in the community. Now you can move away. Maybe you build house, you build a house in the community. But this house now is maybe in your land, your family land, or a purchased land, which is in another quarter. It does not make you a member of that quarter. You are still a member of your own original quarter. So let's move to the slide 6. Let's move to the next slide. Eloha. Eloha. Can we pronounce Eloha?
Eloha.
Yes, Meka. Eloha. Eloha. Someone else. Someone else pronounce number 6. Eloha.
Eloha.
Eloha. Meka. Then another person. Eloha. Okay. Eloha. Eloha is a congregation of the eldest men in the community. Remember, we said the number 2 note here, Odo. After the Obodo, you have the Odo. The Odo as a sub-family of the Obodo. So each Odo, each Odo has its own Onokane Odo. So that congregation of the eldest men in is there by the eldest person in that family. Now, if a family, if the eldest person in the family in an order in the community is not available, it is best that nobody in that family represents him in each order. We've heard of bad things happening to people that have gone ahead to represent their eldest member in a Eloha meeting. Bad things have happened to them before. So it's not advisable, because it's a congregation of the eldest in each order in the family. And also you have a Onukanola. Onukanola is the eldest man in the community. When the eldest men in each order come together, they have someone who is the oldest. So that person is the Onukanola, and he's the head of the Eloha. He's the head of the Eloha. in the olden days, before this modern time, Eloha used to be the biggest and the highest decision-making body in Ekpeye. The Eloha, when they come together and meet, they decide that they're like the rulers of the community. Even presently, some decisions in the community, some critical decisions must pass through the Eloha. Especially traditional matters, they pass through the Eloha. And people can just, or his council can just sit down and decide on some critical traditional issues in the community without the Eloha agreeing to that. So that is it. Then let's move on because of time. Nyengwele. In the olden days, Nyengwele, in the olden days, before the advent of the English, the British people to Nigeria, they brought the Ezenwula and all that through. Okay, that is not the purpose of the class, but Nyengwele used to be, in the olden days, the head of the community, used to be the ruler. Who is the Nyengwele? Can we pronounce the number 7? Nyengwele.
Nyenwele.
Nyengwele.
Nyengwele.
Can we pronounce? Okay, Nyengwele. Some other person, Nyengwele. Some other person, number 7, Nyengwele. Okay, let's move on. Nyengwele. Nyengwele is the oldest man in the founding family in that community. The order that is the oldest. Now they have their eldest man, who is the Nyengwele. Now, what does the Nyengwele do? Nyengwele holds the scepter of the community. Yeah, Nyengwele umujowo. Lula. Nyemujowo. Owo is scepter. That is the it has authority. So the Nyengwele holds the Owo. The scepter of the community, and he does some other traditional duties. When the community come together, they want to do something. So he has some other things to do in the community. That is Nyengwele, who is the eldest. Usually the eldest. So in these modern times, Nyengwele is no longer the ruler of the community. But in our broader community, like the Ikwere Ihroha, Ikwere community, Ihroha, they still have the Nyengwele. That's why you have in some communities in River State, in Ikwere communities, they have Nyengwele. That Nyengwele is equal to Nyengwele. So in their case, they didn't alter that. The Nyengwele, the oldest family, they still produce the ruler of the communities of Ikwere in River State. But in Ekpeye, it's no longer like that. You have the Ezenwula instead of the Nyengwele in Ekpeye. So let's move on. Number 8, Umeze. Now, remember, Ekpeye is a well-structured society. A well-structured society. They have various divisions and their rulers, their heads. People with different functions, groups with different functions. Iku. So we have an Iku Boji. We have Unyomula. We have Umeze. Now, there are 3 divisions in the community. We have the Eloha, which is congregation of the eldest men in the community, representing each order. Like in Odiok, we have 21 order. I don't know of other communities, 21 order. 11 of them, they are Ishikolopo. 5 of them, they are Ediwulu. That is 16. We have 4 of them. Is it 4 or 3? Okay. 3 of them, Odogo. 1, Agolo. 1, Uchi. Those are the families in Odiok. Now, each of them, they have their eldest. That is each order. They have their eldest, which come together to form the Eloha. Now we have the Umeze. Umeze are middle-aged men, and they could still do some physical things in the community. So these groups, they have their functions in the community. The Eloha, they're like the decision makers, key decision makers, the eldest men, and Ùnazhí. They are still able-bodied men, not old men. They are middle-aged men. They have their function. A youth in the community, a young male, which is community women, they all perform various functions. Each order have their own women. Each obodo have their women too, and they come out and they function at various different times in the community. So let's move to number 9. We are almost at the end. Let's move to number 9. Igbo. Igbo. Igbo has appeared again. The first Igbo we talked about is Kota in the community. Kota Igbo. Ishi Igbo. But now, this number 9, we're talking about Igbo as a clan. Now, a clan is made up of various communities that in times past, in the olden days, they used to come together and then they worked together. They worked together. That is Igbo. They work together. They have their king in Ekpeye. After the general king, which is Ekpulùkpu, we have the Ezigbo. The Ezigbo, which is clan. Now, when we mention clan in Ekpeye, they are not related by patrilineal relationship. The clan in Ekpeye, they are not descendants of one man, say, though all of them are descendants of Ekpeye, but they are from different people. Come together, they work together, those communities, they become Igbo. So in Ekpeye, we have 7 of them, 7 Igbo. We have Ubie, we have the eldest. The eldest Igbo is Ubie. Why is Ubie the eldest? Because when Ekpeye Ulaubie is the eldest community in Ekpeye, the community that Ekpeye settled continuously before he died and his children continued. So that is Ulaubie. Ubie is a clan made up of 21 communities. Ubie is made up of 21 communities and is the eldest. Then from there, people migrated to Ako. Okay, can we pronounce? Let's pronounce them, and then we'll Ubie. Can we pronounce Ubie?
Ubie.
Ubie.
Okay. Ubie, not Ubio. Ubie.
Ubie.
Ubio is a community. Ubie, yes.
Ubie.
Ubie, yes, Meka. That is one Igbo in Ekpeye. Ubie bu Unukane. Unukane Igbo, Ekpeye. That is the eldest Igbo in Ekpeye. Because that's where Ekpeye settled finally after his journey, settled finally, and he died there too. So all his descendants, they started from there. Then the first wave of migration, they moved to Ako. Can we pronounce the second one? Ako.
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 Ako. Ako.
Ako.
Yes, yes. Someone else, Ako. Someone else, let's pronounce the second one, Ako. Okay. No one is trying. The second one, Ako.
Ako.
Ako. Meka. Ako. Now, Ako is the second clan, according to seniority. That is the second part that Ekpeye people migrated to and started to populate that area. So Ako is the second clan in Ekpeye. It's the head community is Olehoda. I told us that in Ubie we have Olaubie or Ulubie as the head community. That's the the oldest community. The oldest community in Ako is Rulership, which is just after Ahoda, when you're going to Omok, that area. After Ahoda, the next community, which is very, very close to Ahoda. So, is Rulership. Cool. Then we have the third area that was populated in Ekpeye is Igbuduya. Igbuduya. Can we pronounce Igbuduya?
Igbuduya.
Yes, Igbuduya. Igbuduya. Okay, someone else try. Igbuduya. Can someone try?
Igbuduya.
Igbuduya. Yes. Okay, Igbuduya. That is the third clan in Ekpeye. Igbuduya with the head, the oldest community as Ulokobo. Ulokobo is the oldest community in Igbuduya. They have Opata. Opata. Now, I'm not following in any particular order. The fourth one now is Opata. But I would have explained something else, but let's not go there. It's not the purpose of the class. Opata. Can we pronounce Opata?
Opata.
Opata, yes. Meka. Meka. Odonwe. Someone else. Opata. Can someone else try? Opata. Let's move on. Let's move on. We don't have much time so that we'll end the class. Opata. Opata. Owasa. Opata. Can you pronounce Opata? Okay. Opata. Now, originally, these are the four, these four, 1, 2, 3, 4, Ako, Igbuduya, Opata. They are the four recognized clans in Ekpeye originally. Then, for some other reasons, other clans were carved out of the existing four. We have Ehoda, we have Ugbobi. The Ugbobi has been around for years, but it was not recognized from the beginning. So let's pronounce the fifth one, Ehoda.
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 Ehoda. Meka. Ehoda. Yes, Ehoda. And it has been corrupted to Ahoda. We have an Ahoda town. That is the headquarters of Ekpeye. Ahoda town. As the headquarters of Ekpeye, which is Ehoda. Igbo Ehoda. Which is a clan of its own. It was carved out of Ako. Ehoda was carved out of Ako because it is an urban area, the headquarters of Ekpeye. So Ekpeye people sat down and decided to give Ehoda clan, a clan of its own. So the next one is Ugbobi. Ugbobi has been recognized, but it has been in existence even in the olden days. Let me put it that way. Ugbobi the clan Ugbobi has been in existence, but it was not recognized by the government since. So Ugbobi, can we pronounce Ugbobi?
Ugbobi.
Ugbobi, Meka.
Ugbobi.
Meka. Some other person. Ugbobi. Ugbobi. Ugbobi, that is the oldest community in Ugbobi is Idu. Ekpeye, Idu. That is the oldest community. That is where those communities that make up Ugbobi used to, in the olden days, used to gather and then do their meetings. And that is the head community also. Then we have Oloko. Oloko. Can we pronounce the last one? Oloko.
Oloko.
Yes, Meka, Imeta. You got it. Some other person Oloko. Yeah. it was the current Ekpelùkpu finally gave them their autonomy. But it was the decision of the whole of Ekpeye before. So the government also have recognized Oloko as a clan in Ekpeye. Oloko Igboloko. So let's move on to the 10th slide, the 10th topic there. 10. Okay, that is the last slide. Number 10, Emini. Yes, we pronounce Emini. Emini. Tiffany, Emini.
Emini.
Okay. Emini. Meka. Someone else. Owasa. Someone else. Emini. We're almost at the end of the lesson. Emini. Okay, let's move on. Now, Emini is a administrative purpose. Mainly for administrative purpose. Now, the Emini have their own. Okay, sorry. Sorry, let's for Igbo, we have the Ezigbo. So I don't think we didn't mention that Ezigbo is the head of the ruler of the Igbo. Ezigbo, Ezigbo Bie, Ezigbo Pata, Ezigbako, Ezigbo Ibudua, Ezigbo Oloko, Ezigbo Ehoda, Ezigbo Ugbobi. These are the 7 Ezigbos in Ekpeye as a program. So they have their rulers, the Idibu, the clan, each clan, which is Eze Igbo. Administrative division of the Igbo, just for administrative purpose, not much. So each Igbo can decide to create another Emene, but Igbos have, at least from my knowledge, at least 3. Ubie, for example, they have Okanola, Emene Okanola, Emene Echubie, I went up again. So I went off. Let's round up Emene, Subini. Can we pronounce this one before we move on to the last slide? Ezemini. Ezemini. Are we there?
Ezemini.
Yes, Ezemini.
Ezemini of the Emene. That is subdivision of the clan, a sub-clan of the clan of the Igbo rulers. The order, they have ruler, they have head, they have eldest man. The community have a congregation of the eldest man. They have women, Onokan Odo, Onokan Obodo, Onokan Ola. They have Unyumundo. Every division, every clan, every sub-clan, every sub-family, all of them, they have head. That is why Ekpeye society is a well-structured society. So now, the Ekpeye have a general king, the king of the whole of Ekpeye. the whole of Ekpeye. The whole of Ekpeye. Yabo. Ezekpelukpu. Ezekpelukpu. The whole of Ekpeye is the king. Can we pronounce number 11? That's the last one. Ezekpelukpu.
Ekpelukpu.
Ezekpelukpu. Ezekpelukpu. That's the traditional ruler of the whole of Ekpeye. Ekpo bala Ekpo meaning everything about Ekpeye is the ruler, the traditional ruler of all. So all the Ezigbo, they answer to him. He leads the people from all together. So he's the head of all of them. And he's elected. Now, no kingship. Inheritance. You give you king because it's this is Ekpelukpu, which is the third one from when Ekpeye started to have general king. They checked that he's not related to the previous two before him. So this current Ekpelukpu is not related to the previous two before him. So Ekpeye, that is, no king in Ekpeye is not by inheritance. That's what I was just trying to say. Not by inheritance. It is usually by election. They come together, they have their criteria, they conduct election. They have people who are qualified to be kings too. They have their election, and the winner of the election becomes the king, the Eze. But there are some exceptions. There are some criteria in some positions that can be done by selection or appointment. They can just appoint somebody, but not the general king, not Ezekpelukpu. It can be done by appointment, or Ezigbo, or the clan king can be done by appointment. The Ezemene would be done by appointment. Depends if the people agree. Instead of holding an election, if the people agree, you can just appoint the person as Ezemene or some other positions. Even the Ezemula could be done by a concession. They can just make agreement. Then each order, they are Eze, they are the king of each family. It must be a member of that family. Someone can't come from another obodo, another order, to be a king in a family that he does not belong to. He must be a king of a family that he belongs to. He must be the eldest man in your order before Eloha. If I can join the congregation of the East and be a member of the Eloha, he must be the eldest. You cannot come from another community to rule over another community. You must be a member of that community by birth. You can't be a chief in your mother's community. In Ekpeye society, it is patrilineal. You can be a king, a chief in your father's family, your father's community, not your mother's community. That's not how it is done in Ekpeye. Okay, we'll spend a lot of time. Let's close here. Mekani. Okay, moderator, let's move on. Let's close.
Mika, Ùnazhí. Mika. Please, let's appreciate our teacher, instructor. You can drop emojis in the chat. Maybe may you take one. Share Kalulu. Okay, Onya, may you take one. Is there any question?
Ask.
No, more Jojo.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, more Jamaica Kalulu. Okay. I think maybe you
they
take
can ask after the
Okay. Okay. Mekani, Eblemado. Can you put the whole class and add him? Okay. So, Juju, make a the group chat like If you have any questions later on, you can still reach out to us on the WhatsApp group. So we would like to close the class here. Next week, we are closing this lesson. It's been 9 weeks today, and next Sunday is the 10th week, and we are closing with our book launch. Yes, so if anyone has testimonials like we asked in the WhatsApp group, you can reach out to me personally so that we can feature you next Sunday. You can share with us your class experience. And we're also going to be having some other guests join us. Thank you all and see you next week. Ekane.
Okay, Mekan.